a blessing. Lesbians ain't kissing. You fuck with Sarky world, niggas bound to end up missing. Chase the money, that's the mission. Yo, sitting at home with that what? That I took out my mother's car. No, it is not.
What it do, guys? Here we are with our first episode of New Age Ballers. I got my boy Brian sitting next to me. It's D Neal right here.
So we gonna have an NBA podcast. Me and Darian, you know, we're huge NBA fans. We watch on the regular. If we're ever around each other, that's pretty much the top topic of conversation. And so we figured if we're gonna talk about it, why not have other people here, you know? So we're gonna be doing this. I'm not sure if we're gonna do it weekly, bi-weekly. We're gonna see how you guys like it. We're gonna go ahead. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna let the people hear our opinions. We're gonna see who's right or wrong. We make bets all the time. At least now we're gonna have it videoed. I'm always right on those. You're gonna see that. And so yeah, we're gonna go ahead. We're just gonna go ahead and get right on into it. The very first topic I want to talk about, something that happened just recently today as we're videoing it. Kyrie came out to the media today. He got fined $25,000 for basically saying that he's not going to talk to the media. And so the biggest question I have about that is with Kyrie going into a new situation with the Nets. We know Kyrie's past of what, you know, how Kyrie's always been. How do you think this is going to impact them as a team? Because they're looked at right now as contenders in the East.
Agreed.
Do you think that him causing these shenanigans is going to make them worse? Do you think that his team's going to just be okay? How do you think that this is going to impact?
I think that the only people that care about what Kyrie said is the media, is people at home that don't like Kyrie Irving, such as this guy right here. Well, Kyrie, he said he didn't want to talk to the media. You know how the media's mad? Because now the media don't have this stuff to put out on them. They can't say, oh, Kyrie said this. They can't take out these little bits of information that Kyrie says and make him look like a bad guy. So the media's upset. But me, KD, Kyrie, they're cool. The Nets probably don't care what Kyrie says. As long as they bring him to chill, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you, right? As a Boston fan, as you can see, Kyrie has a way of making the team about him. Since we've heard about this fine, in the past couple of days, have you really thought of Kevin Durant all that much? I mean, of course he's coming off injury. They're going to have people talking about that. But now you have all eyes shifted from what should be the biggest story, Kevin Durant's comeback. This man was 2 times final MVP. Could have been 3 if he would have stayed healthy. You know, that you can't help that. He came off this amazing run, and the big story should be Kevin Durant's coming back. How's he going to do? But what are we talking about? We're talking about, oh, Kyrie doesn't want to talk to the media this year. And looking back on his time in Boston, that team in Boston could have been an amazing team. We had Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown. We had a squad. I mean, at the end of the day, we had a squad. And that team really could, if you look at it, right, we made it to Game 7 against LeBron in that conference finals.
LeBron in the high school.
We made it to Game 7, and you got to look at it. That's respectable from a rookie. Now, had we had Kyrie and Gordon Hayward, I'm a firm believer we would have made it to the finals. I'm not saying we would have won. That Golden State team was something nice.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody.
100%.
That team was just something.
Nobody would be in that team.
So the biggest thing is you look back at that and you see that Kyrie, after he left and while he was injured, what did the team do after that? They started to flourish. They did amazing after that. You just got to think that everybody's stats went up just like that. And not only that, but as he was gone, our record showed that we were doing better without him. I mean, it's just simple. You look at the statistics. I don't have them pulled up, but I remember that season very firmly.
Yes.
We were all doing better. And then you look at after he departed, we went where? Right back to, I mean, we were doing even better. I mean, had the season not been cut short, we most likely would have ended with a better record than what we had before. Mm-hmm. And so my biggest thing is he's going to the media at this point now, right?
Yes.
He's doing the exact same thing he did in Boston. Earth's flat, right? I mean, let's make it about him, you know?
He was proving a point when he said that the media would take anything and run with it. They would say the stupidest stuff.
That's what I would say too. But so you really look at it, and eventually people are gonna I mean, if you get all the eyes on you, you always only want the eyes on you. And
Yes.
it is Kevin Durant, right? He doesn't want to be, you can tell just by the way his career went, he doesn't want to be the central focus apparently, because you had it nice in OKC. Russell Westbrook won the MVP while he was there, and then you go into a 73-9 team. Obviously, you're like, okay, I don't really care what people have to say. But then you also got to think there's other people on that team, and no one's like Jared Allen. I'll get like just Jared Allen alone. Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, right?
Hooper.
These are all amazing players.
Hoopers.
Do you think that people are gonna no one's really gonna appreciate them as much? People are gonna be so focused on Kyrie and what's Kyrie doing, what's Kyrie saying.
Yeah.
He's trying to. LeBron has the aura around him, right? No matter what he does, people want to focus on him. I think Kyrie wants to be that. He wants the whole focus being shifted on him. But when you look at it from a team aspect, that hurts everyone else on that team.
Yes.
And I feel like if he just did, normal NBA player things, just do his thing, I mean, the media at the end of the day, they're going to be there no matter what. If you say you're not going to talk to them, it's not like that's going to make them stop writing stories about you.
Exactly.
That might even make them want to do it more. So what are you gaining by telling the media I'm not going to talk?
I think, as you say, they're not going to focus on those players as much because it's about Kyrie. If Kyrie's saying nothing, the fact that it's still about Kyrie is not a Kyrie problem. It's a media thing. They want Kyrie to be the bad guy. He told them, I'm not going to say anything. The media can say, okay, well, we'll move on to the Spencer Dinwiddie. We'll move on to Karis LeVert. Well, no. Kyrie doesn't want to talk to us and throw in a fit.
Okay, but you got this, right? So you have all this negative attention drawn towards Kyrie. The thing is like, if you're just a basketball player on that team, you have this is like the annoying uncle that goes out and he's just making a big scene, and you're like, oh man, I don't want to sing with this uncle. But like Uncle Drew, right? I mean, he's starting to earn the uncle part of it, right? I'll give you that. He's a very good hooper. Low 20, except against the Bucks. But he's a very good hooper. And the thing about it is just, do you really want all that negative attention towards a teammate? I mean, if you just say, that you have your lines, right? Yes. I mean, even if you don't want to talk to the media, there's those fallback lines. Oh, we're doing great this year. I have high hopes for us. I'm getting along well with my teammates. You got all that. And so, why can't you just say that versus, I'm not going to talk to the media. Let's get everyone talking about, oh, this is Kyrie's drama. Look at him doing it again. The thing, whenever Kyrie came to us from Cleveland to Boston, I mean, you heard everybody. You saw it on Twitter and everything like that. And all the Cavs fans were like, trust me, you're going to get tired of it. You're not going to like it. And I was like, it's Kyrie, like what?
What Cavs fan said that?
If you go back.
The ones that he won a championship?
Yeah, okay.
Those fans.
LeBron's championship. Okay.
He averaged what? 30?
Wait. 30? So we're going to talk about that, right? So
what?
See, here's the thing. Kyrie wasn't going anywhere without LeBron. Before LeBron got there.
100%.
What? Okay, before LeBron got. So you're saying without LeBron, Kyrie's
No, I agree. I'm agreeing with what you're saying.
Okay.
He would not have won without LeBron James.
I don't even think he might have made playoffs without. I mean, like he might be just because the East is weak.
He would have got it.
The East was super weak. He would have got playoffs, but he's gonna lose. I mean,
of course, because LeBron would have been on another team. He'd have been in Miami still.
Even if he would have went to the West, he's going to get knocked out of playoffs eventually. You got too good of teams.
LeBron led, but Kyrie, that was the best second fiddle he could have had that year.
It was, but do you really think that they're going to go nearly as far without LeBron? I don't even think they...
Nobody goes as far without LeBron.
I think they have a 70... Okay, so you have Kyrie and Kevin Love. That's what you're saying, right? They're going to go far.
Not
Ben
far.
and Joel...
Okay,
so they're going to make playoffs. Do you think they make it past the second round at all? You don't think that? Okay, exactly.
No.
I think Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are obviously a better duo than Kyrie and Kevin Love, mostly because of just Kevin Love himself. I don't think, you look at that offensive firepower they have between those two, they wouldn't have made it past them. They're not going to make it past the Celtics.
I don't know. Kevin, you were talking about Minnesota Kevin Love, and Kevin Love.
We're talking about Kevin Love on the Cavs.
He turned into that because he was the third option. But no, Bron, he's second option. I believe his stats go up. He's playing better than he was.
So wait, what option was Kevin Love this season?
He was the second option this season. Wait,
And
what?
how did he do this
He
season?
was the first option this season, wasn't he? The guy.
I mean,
I
you
don't
had
know
Colin
who he had.
Sexton.
He had a bunch of young guys.
And look what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, he had Kyrie was a young guy at the time. What did you?
But Kyrie's a different young guy. Kyrie came in with putting the league on fire.
Kyrie came in
We
and
never
couldn't get his
seen-
team in the
We
playoffs.
never seen handles like that before. Who they two players Kyrie had on his team before LeBron and Kevin Love?
I wasn't a Cavs fan back then.
Nobody knows. We don't know who he had.
Because no one was watching
He
them.
didn't have
Nobody was watching them.
Because he didn't have anybody else.
But no, and see, that's the
What
thing.
were the
though.
Cavs before Kyrie did? I forgot they were an NBA basketball team.
And okay,
I mean, well, I guess because he came after LeBron. That one season they didn't have LeBron. They went from the best team in the NBA to the worst team.
That's
Record-wise.
LeBron. That's
Record-wise.
LeBron.
That's what
That's
LeBron's
what-
gonna have that
Kyrie
effect
came in.
everywhere he goes, though.
but if
It's
so, if
LeBron
Kyrie's
James.
as good as you say he is, then shouldn't he be able to at least carry a team without LeBron to playoffs?
He can't do that.
But
He's gonna do it this year.
he's gonna do it. Well, he has Kevin Durant.
But you said without LeBron, he's gonna get there this year. He's getting to the playoffs. I think that the Kyrie's teammates don't care at all about Kyrie not talking to the media. They care about what Kyrie's gonna step on the court and do. That's all they care about.
I think even Kevin Durant's gonna get tired of it because you think about it going into the
He's
season,
the
right?
same way.
See, yeah, Kevin Durant's the same
He's
way.
the
You
same
have
way.
two drama queens on the same team. This team goes on a 3 or 4 game losing streak. How do you think that's gonna go?
They'll get over it. They're NBA
They're gonna
basketball
get over
players.
it?
They're NBA. They've been on losing streaks before.
Kyrie,
They understand the losing streak is part of the game.
They're gonna get over it.
Yes.
But Kyrie is still talking about Kevin Durant being the best teammate he's ever had. He's still not
That's
over
what he said.
LeBron being on top of him.
I believe that statement. I agree with you on. That was out of bounds.
But-
for him to say that. 'Cause
There's also another thing, right? You gotta have a leader. Like you think of him as a leader or no?
Kyrie Irving, I don't think of Kyrie Irving as a leader. No.
But so how do you expect him to, outside of being with LeBron, lead a team? Like you're asking him to lead the team
I don't
because
see
he's gonna
them-
be the best player, right?
I don't see them winning the finals.
Yeah, I don't even see them winning the first round if they make it. In general, I mean, like, because you think about it.
This team?
No, the
Cavs-
Nets. The Nets. I'm talking about old Kyrie with the Cavs. This team with the Nets. The East is going to be about matchups. I mean, when you just think about it,
Yes.
I think the East is all about matchups. I think any team could probably. It really depends on matchups because you have teams like the Raptors and Bucks. If they match up, I think the Bucks are going to beat them easy. But then I also think the Raptors could beat a team like the Sixers. I just do because
The Raptors?
Let me take that
healthy,
back. Let me take
fully
that
healthy Sixers?
Let me take that back only because they got rid of Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka this offseason. They don't really have. They got Aaron Baines.
Serge was the guy.
They got
Serge
Aaron
was a big
Baines.
loss for him. Mark, not so much.
I don't know. I don't even see the Nets beating Boston, to be honest with you.
I don't see them.
because you're gonna have.
The Nets are the best team in the Eastern Conference. I'm saying that on the record right now.
A team that hasn't even
The
played with
Brooklyn
their 2 biggest stars
Are
together
the
is
best
gonna be the
team
best.
in the Eastern Conference.
I don't know.
They may not get first place in the record in seeding in the records, but I guarantee you, fully healthy, Brooklyn Nets are coming out the East.
You think they're better than the Bucks?
Kevin Durant's better than Giannis.
Is he gonna stay? The thing we don't know how good Kevin Durant's gonna be this season. Yes, he's had a lot of
80%,
time.
I take KD over Giannis.
80% maybe. But who's gonna stop Giannis on that Nets team? I mean, I know you got
build
Jared
a
Allen
wall.
down
He
low,
can't.
but
Miami is not a big team. They're a small team. Small team. They built a wall. They just cut off the paint and said, you know what? Beat us from the outside. Giannis is not capable of doing that right
and then,
now.
but you got to think about it at the same time. The Bucks have players like Dante DiVincenzo who are still going to be
Did
progressing.
they not trade him yet?
No, they
Who
still.
did they
have-
trade?
They got.
They traded one of those shooters, man. No, they traded Pat Connaughton, I think it was. Pat Connaughton.
I think so.
But why did he do it? Why did he step up this year then? When Miami was rushing through them.
I see. That's the thing. I don't know. Giannis in the playoffs to me is a whole different. He's
'Cause
not
he can't
Giannis in the
shoot.
regular season. But you don't think? Okay, so there's player progression we're talking about. You don't think he's gonna get at least a little bit better at the shooting aspect?
How long has he been in the NBA?
He's only been in there for, I think he got drafted 2014, maybe 2013.
You can't shoot a consistent mid-ranger by now?
Ben Simmons?
Ben has been in there. He's only played. This was his second season actually playing. But he got hurt in the playoffs. But I agree with you. I don't think the Sixers can win until Ben can have a consistent jump shot.
Okay.
And I just don't see it happening.
So this is going to lead into my next question.
What's your next question?
James Harden this offseason, he does not want to be in Houston.
At all.
And so my biggest question is, where do you think he gets traded to? And if it is the Bucks, does that automatically make them better than the Nets?
100%. 100%. I think James Harden is the best offensive player in basketball. I don't care about defense. I don't think defense is very important. A lot of people, you got to be able to play to know. The offense is so great right now that I don't care what defense you play. If they're good on offense, you're just going to get scored on. It's that simple.
Do you think that if he does get traded anywhere, the Bucks are going to be that number one team then? Or where do you think
who do the Bucks have to give up for James Harden?
You got Chris Middleton. You could give up like a package like Chris Middleton, Dante DiVincenzo, maybe three or four first rounders.
You could do that.
That's a package like that. But then at the same time, Houston has to be accepting of that. And right now, it doesn't look like they're going to be. It looks like what they're asking for is too much because he's been talked about going to the Bucks. I don't think he goes to the Bucks. I don't think they necessarily. I'm not trading. If I'm the Rockets, I'm not trading for Chris Middleton, Dante DiVincenzo, and first.
Were they on his preferred list of trade destinations?
If I remember right, he wanted to go to either the Bucks, Sixers. I think that's it. Maybe the Heat.
I think he said Miami in one. I think he said Miami.
I think it is Miami, but I don't see him going.
I guess Brooklyn completely shut down.
He could be. Oh yeah, never mind. They said that he wants to go to Brooklyn. That was his number one option.
Finals favorite.
But the thing is, Houston's not going to give James Harden up unless they're getting someone Kyrie or Kevin Durant in return. They're not going to give it up for that small And
I don't see that happening.
I just don't see him. I don't see him getting traded for anything. I think Daryl Morey's a little too. He's smart. He still has James Harden under contract for 2 more years, so he's not in necessarily a rush.
I think that Middleton package you speak would be actually a great freaking trade for Houston. To get Middleton, DiVincenzo, and some first rounders to go along John Wall and Boogie.
You're gonna take that?
I think Chris is a great player, and I think if Harden doesn't want to be there.
Also, from the Rockets standpoint, you're going to need some first rounders back. You gave up so many for Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook. You gave up so many to get these players, and then you kind of just pushed them out. You didn't really get too much. You didn't get many picks in return for that. And so I just don't understand. I don't understand what James Harden's necessarily thinking because if you look at the Rockets, you have John Wall, which I think. Yes, he has a history of injuries, but I think he would work better with John Wall than he did with Russell Westbrook for sure.
I agree.
And then Chris Paul's I think he might work a little bit better than Chris Paul, but probably not because Chris Paul was more likely to, he's a facilitator. He's going to pass the ball to him more. So I think he falls in between Westbrook and Chris Paul, but they also got Boogie now. Mm-hmm. Their biggest problem was last year they wanted to run the small ball. Obviously, that didn't work. You still have Daniel House on that team, which people were saying, or his coach was even saying that he was one of the biggest jumps from this season to off season. I mean, this season to off season.
I believe it when I see it.
And so that's one of the things is that they're saying he has a decent squad over there. I mean, if he really wanted to win, he could go out there. I feel like he could be probably a lower playoff seed with just how the West is right now.
Facts.
But they're still a playoff team, and given the right situation, given the right matchup, you could go far in the playoffs. I don't think necessarily adding James Harden, because you add him, let's say he goes to the Nets. He's going to want the ball, like the way he plays. He's not a facilitator as much. Yes, he can pass if he wants to, but when he gets that ball, his eyes go straight to the basket.
I believe James Harden is one of the best passers in the league. The problem is though their offense, the way he runs it, he holds the ball way too long.
He does hold the ball way too long, and I mean, he's for the past 2-3 years, he's been one of the top 2 just possession. Like, I mean,
yeah, I agree.
And he just holds the ball the whole time.
He needs to learn how to play without it. The ball. That's why him and Chris didn't work out. That's why him and Russ didn't work. He doesn't ever gonna work. I don't think him and John will work out because John's not a great shooter, and so he's got to have the ball in his hands to create the offense. I don't see him spotting up on the side while James Harden is dribbling the clock out.
I don't know. I think Houston would be smart to keep him. I think they deal him before the trade deadline because they're going to look for. I mean, you look at the Anthony Davis situation in New Orleans, right? They held out way too long. Like, way too long. And even the Pelicans, the Pelicans have even came out and said we shouldn't have waited that long. That was a bad decision. We should have just got rid of him sooner.
Yes.
Versus now you're looking at Houston, and I get what he's trying to do. He wants as much as he can get back for James Harden because that is
100%.
That's an all-decade player by far.
Offensive player.
And so he is. He's gonna,
best offensive player in the
He's gonna get the shots. I don't know about best offensive.
Damian Lillard might be the best offensive player. Probably Damian Lillard. I'm tripping. It's probably Dame.
It's no. See, that's just the fan speaking.
Yeah,
and so
we watched the bubble. We watched it.
Yeah, you watched him get hurt, and after he
watched
lost
him
to Ron
explode.
But we're talking. Okay, so T.J. Warren is going to be the best coming into this next season. Then, because if we're talking about people that exploded in the bubble, so T.J. Warren is going to be the best.
He did great.
Season,
he did Damian Lillard explode.
He was averaging like almost 50 a game before playoffs.
No.
Yes.
No, not that much.
He was between 40 and 50. He was averaging so many points.
No.
So, I mean,
he didn't average more than Dame, and Dame averaged 38 in the bubble before playoffs.
Okay, but you had T.J. Warren having these amazing games.
He had great games.
By far. And so if you're looking at I don't necessarily think that people are going to be the same as they were in the bubble. I don't think Tyler Harrell's going to be this next.
Dame was that before the bubble.
He was that before the bubble. He's great. He's a good.
Might be the best offensive player.
He's a good second round conference finals exit every year. Like you can go. Like that's kind of where he is. I don't see.
Chad finals winners.
How do you think Portland's going to do this season?
Portland's going to win the NBA Finals. I'm calling it right before the trade deadline. Portland and San Antonio make a deal. We're going to give them Covington, who we just picked up, and we're going to give them Derrick Jones Jr., who we just picked up, and they're going to give us LaMarcus Aldridge. LaMarcus is coming back for a reunion with Portland. He is the missing piece, and we're going to win the NBA Finals.
So you think that LaMarcus Aldridge's old self, he's going to elevate y'all to finals contenders over the Lakers, over the Clippers, over...
Yes! He can shoot the ball from deep. He can shoot it from mid-range. He can finish at the basket. You got Dame, who's going to run the... Talking about 30 points per game guy. You got CJ. We got Rodney Hood coming back from injury. We got
Rodney Hood.
Rodney Hood.
We're talking Rodney Hood.
He was
a
make
y'all the finals contender.
Yeah, Rodney Hood is a key piece.
He's gonna make them better than the Lakers.
We're better than the Lakers right now. We're better than the Los Angeles Lakers right now.
We just lost all our viewers.
Right now, we are better. The Portland Trailblazers are better than the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay, and the Celtics are going to win 5 championships in a row. Right?
Definitely not.
All right, yeah. That's what it sounds like. That's just
we're better than them.
But okay, so we look at matchups, right? LeBron's probably running the one. LeBron, Dame, who's better?
Braun right now. Not this season. Dame's gonna win MVP, so it'll be Dame.
Dame's gonna win MVP. That's
Dame.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and
get into this. Hey, Dame.
I'm getting into this next question.
The answer's always Dame.
Okay, so who do you think out of all these teams? We had a very short off season.
Mm-hmm.
Very short. The bubble was a weird situation. We're going into it early. Who do you think out of all the teams had the best off-season moves?
The best off-season moves, I had to be Brooklyn. They picked up Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
That wasn't this that was last off-season.
Oh, yeah. They didn't play this whole year. Yeah. Injuries. The best off-season move, I really like what Philadelphia did in getting Seth Curry.
I believe Danny's a garbage bag. Sorry, Danny. But so I don't take too much stock in that one. But I believe Seth was a huge pickup to spread the floor.
I think they made a couple of good moves. I'll give you that. But
they got rid of Al. He couldn't play. Being Al and Joel were not a good match.
I think the Hawks. I think they had one of the most interesting off seasons. I'm excited to see how that pans out. I don't think that necessarily contributes to them being like this amazing super team. Whatever.
No, they're still young.
But right now you're looking at they got Gallinari. I think they just got a center if I remember right. Let me go ahead and look that up real quick.
Yeah, while you're looking that up, the Lakers. How you go from being the champions to getting an even better team this year? That baffled me. I was like, okay.
They're the favorites right now. I mean, you got to look at it this way though. You got LeBron and AD. Those are the two stars that made it through everything. I think they still have KCP, which was very. I mean, you got these good pieces.
Wes Matthews. You took out Danny, the garbage bag, and pulled in Wes Matthews.
You got Wesley Matthews. You got Montrezl Harrell. He's just. I don't necessarily know if he's the best defensively, just because he's a bit undersized for a center.
You just put him at power forward.
But you got him. You could just switch him and AD. Honestly, AD is going to be able to guard that paint. You got Montrezl. That's a
6 man of the year.
They picked up the 6 man of the year.
That's a beast front court. I can't.
That's a monster squad. The only team that can beat them is the Trailblazers.
I think another team that's going to be really interesting to watch this next season is the Bulls. Now, while they didn't necessarily do the biggest acquisitions, they didn't. So the biggest thing, right? They didn't get very notable players. They got a new coach. They got Oklahoma's old coach. Oh. And the thing about that is, you look at Oklahoma City's roster this year, right? Did you expect Oklahoma City to make it?
That was Chris Paul. That was CP3.
I don't think that was CP3 necessarily.
You think that was their coach?
That coach has some of the best player development skills out there. And then you look at
who did he develop?
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
He just came from the Clippers.
I mean, but was he? He's not necessarily. Do you think? Okay, so OKC Shai and Clippers Shai, are they even comparable?
He played more in OKC.
Yeah, yes, because
and he was more experienced.
So why couldn't he have played
more?
And
he was playing beside Chris Paul.
So why couldn't he have played more in with LA?
He was playing beside Chris Paul here.
Yes, he was playing besides Chris Paul, but he was also doing ISO ball. He had so many different. It's not like Chris Paul gave him all his shots.
But Chris Paul was their player.
Chris Paul wasn't assistant.
He was their
every
player
shot, though.
In practice, it was Chris Paul developing these guys.
I don't think it was. We'll see in Atlanta.
So if Chris Paul's the one developing all these guys, why couldn't Chris? I mean, he could have made it to a champion. He probably could have if he would have stayed healthy.
Injuries hit him hard.
You can never count on Chris Paul to make it all the way through the playoffs.
Injuries are tough in this league.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say Atlanta's probably the team that made the best acquisitions player wise. But I want to see what the Bulls are going to do this season, because I know you don't watch the Bulls, as most of you don't. But
sorry, Chicago natives. Sorry, guys.
The Bulls this past season were a very promising team. They were young. You have Zach LaVine, you got Lauri Markkanen, you got Kobe White. You got some elite young talent that I think could prosper into something great. And now you got this coach that's known for developing players, and I honestly think that they could bump up to at least the 8th seed. Or in the East, right?
No.
You don't think they can make at least the 8th seed?
Chicago's not getting the 8th seed.
Who do you think? You know what? Okay.
I'll tell you who made the best offseason move in the NBA.
Who?
The Charlotte Hornets. By drafting LaMelo Ball was the best draft pick you could have. I heard so many analysts say there were no studs in this draft. There was no obvious number one. Oh my, I wanted to throw my phone at the TV because obviously they have not watched this kid play basketball.
Yeah, they got LaMelo Ball and they gave a max contract to our 4th option. They're going to be great.
Okay, Gordon. You paid Gordon way too much money. He's not worth all that.
You give him that much money, and I get it. You still have cap space, but what do you plan to do with Hayward? Do you think that Hayward and LaMelo are just going to be this amazing duo? Like, do you think?
I think Hayward's 3rd option on the team.
So you think that the Hornets have a better record than the Bulls this next season?
Yes.
How much do you believe that? Do you truly believe that?
I 100% believe. In my heart of hearts, believe. I believe LaMelo's the future of the NBA. He's the face of the NBA in the future.
Do you bet? So if we put $5 on it right now, you would take that bet?
Easy.
Easy.
I
think the Bulls have a better record than the Hornets this season just because you have so much. Speaking of the Bulls making playoffs, right? Yeah. So I got a question for you.
Not happening.
Obviously, each year there's different teams in the playoffs, right?
For sure.
And so this year, I'm curious, who do you think isn't going to make the playoffs that made it last year, and who do you think fills in those spots?
In the West, Thunder, you're out. Utah, you're out. Who's coming in are the Golden State Warriors and the Phoenix Suns. In the East, Orlando, deuces. Charlotte, with the young and rising superstar, are getting that eight. They're getting beat in the first round, but they're getting that 8 seed. You said what?
I said, and that fourth option with the max contract?
He's the third option now. You moved up, Gordon. You moved up. Who do you got?
So, in the West, I've got 3 teams out that were in this year.
Whoa, 3?
I got 3 teams out this year. I got the Thunder.
Okay.
They're rebuilding, of course.
Reasonable.
I've got the Rockets. That's going to be a little...
Ow!
Okay, so
Are you planning on hard leaving, or?
This is the thing, right? If he stays, it's going to be a crapshoot, right? I mean, like, there's going to be so much drama. I don't necessarily think that his focus is going to be on, let's get the Rockets some wins. I mean, if you think about it, you think he's going to be putting his all out there every night if he don't want to be there?
Yes.
You think so? You think he's still fighting for a playoff spot?
I think Harden's going to be the star that Harden. I don't think he can play bad.
I don't think he cares about the success of the team if you're trying to leave it that hard, though. I mean, he says he wants to go to contenders. He doesn't even think that they're contenders there. If you're not contending for a championship, what are you trying for?
Oh, well, yeah, they're not contenders. I'm just saying Harden's in the hoop.
I don't think he's
going to get him to the playoffs.
And I mean, I know you got John Wall, but is he going to be... His game was based off his explosiveness beforehand.
Yes.
He just came off of that injury. I don't think he's necessarily going to be as explosive as he was before. And then you got the same thing. You got the same thing with Boogie, right? Boogie he's not going to be the same Boogie. I mean, we saw that beforehand, and he got hurt again. I mean, and Boogie,
I think they're out to prove a point.
I don't know. And then I don't think so. And then here's where you're gonna hate me, right? Here's where you're gonna hate me. I got the Blazers out too.
Hey, I'm out. Hey, that's it.
So,
I can't sit by this, but I can.
Let me explain to you.
The Portland Trail.
Let me explain to you. Right? You lose Hassan Whiteside.
Yes.
You're starting center pretty much.
And because we got our real starting center back now.
Who?
Yusuf Nurkic. He was supposed to start.
I don't think
he's a better player than Hassan Whiteside.
You think he's better in that system than Hassan?
He's been in the system longer.
I don't think
he works with Damian better.
And then you also got CJ's injury concerns you're worried about. And not only that, but look at where they were last time. They had a losing record in the 8th seed last year, and Dame was healthy the entire season, right?
We had a 6'8", 40-year-old starting at center at the beginning of the season.
I mean, okay, but you think, so Nurkic is just going to be this amazing center.
Nurk will average at least 18 a game.
So let me go ahead.
Over 10 boards.
Let me go ahead and tell you who's going to replace them, and then you'll start to understand maybe
a little more,
right?
I got to say second seed in the West.
Second seed?
Second seed in the Western
You have the Clippers, you got the Lakers, you got you got Curry.
Do you really think Damian will let the Blazers not make the playoffs?
He's done it before.
He was young.
Oh, but see, that's
super young. Like, it was super young.
Okay, but was the West nearly? I mean, like, this is so much more competitive now. So listen, right? So and then you gotta look at it. I don't think they're gonna be that good of it, and especially with the way that scheduling is going this year, you're gonna have shorter schedules. I mean, all these people that were injury prone before, you're looking at even more injury prone now. On top of that, you also got. I mean, you have these other teams in the West that are just going to be better. So
we're better.
Let me go ahead and tell you who I think is going to go into the West, right? So going in for the West, I have the Pelicans going in. They're going to be a lower seed. But you got to think about it. Lonzo's getting better. His 3-point percentage went up like a good amount from last year.
No disrespect to the Pelicans.
Zion was out this entire season, and they were this close to making. I mean, pretty much the entire season, and they were this close to making playoffs. They didn't necessarily try in the bubble. They were trying to get their coach fired, which they did. They're gonna have a new coach. They're gonna be getting better.
We didn't have that season. We made the playoffs.
The Pelicans. Yeah, y'all made the playoffs barely with a losing record.
We didn't have Nurk all season. We didn't have Zach Collins all season. But whatever. Right?
But you also got to look at the Pelicans now. They acquired Steven Adams. And so what that does for Zion is he doesn't have to do the dirty work anymore. He's just there to be a slasher. You have Adams doing all the rebounding and stuff. Zion can move from that 5 position, which I don't think he could really necessarily thrive in, especially at the height that he's in.
They didn't have Justin Hayes at 5?
No, not all that much. I mean, you had him and Zion kind of going back and forth. Zion was setting a lot of screens. He was doing a lot of the dirty work. And so
he can't shoot.
He can't shoot. Did you not see his first game?
Can't shoot. Did you see his first game? Did you see his first game?
Okay, so
he played a lot of games. He played a lot of games.
Like 20 maybe 30.
And we're talking about his first game.
Yes, and he was knocking. Was he not knocking them down?
When he had 3 threes.
He didn't miss a single one.
Yeah. After that,
he had 4 threes and he didn't miss a single one.
After that game, what happened?
His coach wouldn't let him shoot. Like I said. They were trying to get that coach fired, and they
No. Zion can't shoot the basketball.
You got Lonzo, and now you got Steven Adams to do that dirty work. They still have Jackson Hayes, which is going to be a great addition. Like, he's going to get even better. You have Lonzo that's going to get better. You got Zion that's going to be actually playing and getting better. You have such a better team. I have them going into the playoffs. And outside of the Trailblazers, I mean, my very next team is going to be Phoenix. Phoenix is going to get into playoffs. You saw what they did in the bubble. They're getting better. You got D-Book. You got one of my favorite centers, DeAndre Ayton. He's like, to me, he's one of the most underrated players.
Talk about injury prone, right? Was he hurt last year?
No, he got a 20-game suspension.
He was hurt the year before, right?
He couldn't stay off the weed.
Was he hurt? He was hurt the year before, right?
I don't remember. But, like, he's gonna get better. Like, I even have him. He's gonna be like one of those people. He's gonna have a big season this next season. You got Chris Paul now. You just said
Chris Paul's a great
Chris
player.
Paul is gonna be a good. He's a good facilitator. If you truly believe what you say,
I got Phoenix in the play. I got pushed Phoenix in the playoffs.
Okay. And so you got Phoenix in the playoffs, and then that's gonna be the teams that.
What you said? Pelicans, Phoenix, and who?
I just said Pelicans, Phoenix.
Oh, you took out 3.
What did I put for the third?
Shouldn't have took out Portland. That's your team.
No, hold up.
You should have left
I
Portland.
had another one. Let me go back. I forgot completely who I had.
This shit, you're disrespectful. I don't even know how to sit this close to you. I don't even.
Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Let me go ahead and go back.
Do you want to bet on that? On the Trailblazers making the playoffs?
I think Memphis. So you have Utah going out.
Yes.
You have.
Because we're better than them.
But who do you have replacing them?
Utah. I got the Warriors.
The Warriors. That's okay. So that's gonna be my other team. The Warriors. I forgot to write it down. Sorry, guys. The Warriors are my third team going in. I mean, Steph coming back. You still got Draymond. You got a good squad over there. I mean,
we're better than them.
You think y'all have a better record than them?
Than the Warriors. I will bet you right now that we are top 4 in the Western Conference. We end up a top 4 seed.
Top 4.
We end up a top 4 seed. I'm willing to bet top 3 seed.
I'll do. Let's see. I'll do $5. I'll give you top 5 seed. No.
You should give me top 8 seed since you don't have to sit there freaking playoffs, period.
But the thing is those bottom teams, I do think that they're going to elevate to that playoff spot, but there's also that potential that maybe the younger guys still aren't ready just yet. You know,
we have the MVP, next season MVP on our basketball team.
No, that's not.
I will make. We're top 3. We're a top 3 seed.
I'll give you 4. Top 4.
Okay,
let's be a top 4.
Oh, the disrespect is so effing real.
I just earned $10 this podcast.
Disrespect. I can't. I don't know how I'm still sitting down right now.
This is what I'm telling you about. This man makes these dumb bets that I always get right. And this
man took out the Blazers.
And so, yes, but okay, so who do you have replacing those teams that you left out? You said the Warriors. Now, who's the other team?
I had Phoenix. I pushed Phoenix.
Phoenix, you have the Warriors and the Phoenix. But you really think the Jazz aren't going to make it? You have Donovan Mitchell still getting better. You saw
We're better than them.
You still got Rudy Gobert, probably one of the best defenders in the league.
The guys that gave him a 3-1 lead?
Okay, so did the Clippers.
Those guys.
So did the Clippers.
I don't have a lot of faith in the Clippers.
You shouldn't, but I don't think they're the most overhyped.
They're the most overhyped. That's one thing I can agree with you on.
They are just, they're the Bucks of the West to me. They're going to be a good regular season team. When it comes down to playoffs, I don't think I think Kawhi's a little overhyped just because of the one he got in Toronto. I mean, yes, he went and got a championship against no Clay and no.
It was easy.
He got probably the easiest finals appearance.
Got drafted to the Spurs.
The Spurs.
It was easy.
I mean, and then you look at it. This year he actually had a challenge. The Nuggets. I have a lot of respect for the Nuggets.
Yeah, guess who he had going down in the first round, guys? The Denver Nuggets.
The Jazz still should have won that series.
I told them about Denver. Nobody believed me. Denver was a scary basketball team.
I believed you. I have a lot of respect for Denver.
You had them losing in the first round.
But I had them losing to Utah because Donovan Mitchell just was that guy. And then there's also the bubble scenario, which anything could happen, as you saw with the Miami Heat going to the finals. Anything could happen. I still don't believe, even if there wasn't any bubble, I don't think the Miami Heat go to the finals. I really don't.
They were scrappy. Their mentality was the best out of all the teams.
They had a good mentality, but I don't think without the bubble.
Now, Spoelstra, that's a great coach. Spoelstra they had a G League starter.
Yeah,
came on the G League to start.
That's what I'm saying though. You think that team without the bubble, you have a G League.
Who's gonna beat them without the bubble? In the East,
the Bucks. I really think if it wasn't for the bubble, I think the Bucks would have had. But yes, I think Giannis would have.
He will never win until he can shoot a basketball consistently.
Well, you say that, but then you also say the Sixers are getting better, but you still have Ben Simmons who can't shoot.
Yes, but then you give it to Joel. I don't think the Sixers I didn't have the Sixers coming out the East this year, but they have another guy you could go to.
So do the Bucks. You have Dante DiVincenzo. You got Chris Middleton. You got some good three-point shooters on that team. Joel Embiid. Okay, you had Brooke. I'm not sure if they still have Brooke Lopez or not. I think he might have got moved, but you had Brooke Lopez the past season too. That's a good. That's a rim stopper right there. He's gonna make it hard for Joel. If you look at it, that's like one of the matchups that Joel is gonna struggle against.
Joel will struggle against nobody.
He struggled against the Celtics first
round. It wasn't one-on-one.
It
was not one-on-one. You guys trapped him at every possible
Joel is 8. It's 1-8 against the Celtics in playoffs. I'm just letting you know that a team that has a team that has never had an amazing big. Yes. He's only won one game in playoffs.
But y'all lost to.
But he's gonna be that guy, right?
Joel, yeah. Joel was playing,
but he is 1-8 against a team that has.
He was missing his second best. Some people debate, but I believe Ben's the second best.
Daniel Tice held him down enough to let us win.
That was Marcus Smart constantly going over there to trap. Constantly going over there to trap Joel every time he touched it.
So Joel is so amazing, but a guard under 6'6" is a stop.
Yes, because he doesn't see Marcus coming. There's two people on him.
Yes, there's two people on every good player.
Yes.
And that's
why they lost. He didn't have anybody to kick it to.
LeBron gets double teamed every time.
And he has Anthony Davis to kick it to.
Yes, and he has Ben Simmons to kick it to.
Ben was not there.
Not this playoffs, but
that's what I'm saying.
2018, they were both there. We had Terry Rozier starting. No.
2018. Ben played.
2018, I think it was because Ben had that first year where he got hurt, sat out the entire
season. Y'all saw them without Ben.
And then Jason Tatum beat it. Jason Tatum's first year, he was the star of that team.
They didn't have Ben Simmons.
The 2018 they did.
They had both of them.
Yes,
I don't remember them losing.
They had both of them
in the playoffs. They didn't play y'all with both of them.
Yes, they did. You can. Okay, after this, you can go look it up.
That's
I
fine.
promise you,
I don't
we beat
remember
them with a team of Terry Rozier, Aaron Baines, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and hell, I don't even remember the other person.
They had Jimmy that year? They didn't have Jimmy that year.
No, they got him the year. They got him going into that offseason.
Then I believe y'all probably beat them.
I don't think. See, that's the thing though. Giannis was the reigning MVP. You have the season continue on, no bubble, no nothing.
He's great.
And then I don't think that they could stop the MVP if they have.
What happened to Giannis last year in the playoffs?
Last year he got bounced by the Heat because they clogged the paint.
Not they got bounced by the Heat the year before this one.
The year before this one, the Raptors stopped them.
Got bounced by the Raptors. Why do you think the Raptors beat the MVP of the NBA?
Because you have Serge Ibaka, you got Pascal Siakam and Kawhi Leonard. With that front court, who's good?
Do you know what they did to stop Giannis from winning? They clogged the effing paint.
They did the same thing against the Sixers. That's all they had to do the entire playoffs.
So it's this. When it gets Giannis, the game plan is clog the paint.
I don't care what team you are. Clog the paint.
Okay, so that's how you stop Giannis, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and bring this back to my team. We can edit this out if we need to. My team has 2 rim stoppers now. Do you think that the Bucks are going to beat us in playoffs?
I honestly haven't heard of Tristan Thompson's name since LeBron James left.
Well, yes, because he was behind Andre Drummond and Kevin Love. I mean, he's not gonna start anything with those.
So freaking, what does he stop since LeBron left?
Getting to the playoffs.
Yes, he stopped.
He stopped getting to the playoffs.
I ain't seen him stop nothing at the rim. How is he a rim stopper now? All of a sudden.
I mean, you're not gonna see them in general because the Cavs just weren't that team.
Yeah, but I didn't hear nothing about.
But when you just said that. Okay, you said when he was on a team that was good, you saw him doing stuff, right?
LeBron makes players look good.
No. On defense.
Yes.
LeBron can elevate someone offensively. Defense is all about the individual player. I mean, did he make Alex Caruso? I mean, Alex Caruso is a good
Alex Caruso.
Did he make Kyle Kuzma just this elite defender? Kyle Kuzma is known for being trash at defense. Did he just make him
anybody scorch Kyle Kuzma in the playoffs?
You didn't see Kyle Kuzma play that much in playoffs.
But when he was in, he didn't get scored.
You know why? Because he couldn't play defense.
Tristan Thompson, I don't think he's gonna be good. But you got your high hopes.
We're gonna go ahead and
who's the other rim stopper though?
For who?
That you said y'all had. Tristan Thompson.
We have Tristan Thompson, Daniel Tice, Elite. I know you don't watch us.
Didn't he foul out almost every effing game against the Sixers?
But you have
constantly in foul trouble.
He was in foul trouble. Yes, the refs are gonna blow everything on him. That's just what they do. I mean,
he's not a great defender.
He's a great rim
not
protector.
A great defender.
We don't make it as far as we did without having a good rim protector. We just don't. We don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals without having a rim protector.
Better effing team.
He's such a good rim protector. If he's not a good rim protector, why didn't Joel Embiid beat us?
Because y'all trapped him every time.
That is rim protection.
That's 2 people. That's not one person.
So that's not rim protection, but when
your
y'all
guy
goes
Rudy,
to the paint,
I'll say he's a good rim protector.
Well,
but
Daniel Tice
is not a good rim protector.
But you have.
I would go dunk on Daniel Tice. Put it on the record. I will go dunk on Daniel Tice.
I'm gonna have to show you some Daniel Tice after this because obviously you just put mad disrespect on my name. But speaking about defense, we're gonna go ahead and go to the next thing. We're gonna talk about season awards for next season. We have MVP. We got most improved player. We're gonna have a rookie of the year and a defensive player of the year.
Okay.
We'll start with probably the main one, MVP.
Damian Lillard. 100% Damian Lillard. Like, listen, guys. What Damian did in the boat, that's Damian Lillard. That's what Dame does. Dame is great. The man he's shooting legit regular jump shots from half court. He's not stressing it. It's a regular jump. Half court. Guys, I'm Damian with a fully healthy team. Most dangerous player in the NBA. MVP. I'm willing to make a bet on that.
And Jason Tatum's gonna win MVP for sure. No, see, you have this fandom mindset.
No, Damian,
guy.
he scores his
Tatum's
people.
my guy, but I'm not not gonna say he's
because he's not an
MVP
MVP.
next season. So you just said that y'all got better players for this next season, right?
We're healthy.
And he's gonna get better stats. I mean, like you think that he's not gonna
he'll get more assists.
He's gonna get more assists, so that's gonna take away from his points. And
27 and 10.
He didn't have 27 and 10. Okay,
27 and 10.
That's fair. I'll give you that. 28. But you think that's enough to get MVP?
Yes, because this team's going to be second best team in the NBA, or second best record in the Western Conference.
No. There's no. See.
Yep.
For MVP,
might be 30. Dang, gosh, dang it, maybe 30. Shoot.
I'm gonna have to go. It depends. If LeBron can do what he did this season, he's gonna get MVP because there's no way that this man at the age he is going. If he just continues to be LeBron, he's going to have to get another one eventually. I know the league hates giving him MVPs. Yes. I don't know why. He deserved it last year. He's deserved it plenty of years prior, and they just don't want to give it to him. I don't know what it is.
Correct.
But it's going to be either LeBron or hear me out. This is going to be the crazy one, right? Russell Westbrook. So if he could stay healthy. Because he's going to go back to, you think about what he had in OKC when he won his MVP. He had himself and KD, which was
he won MVP.
He did have KD. I'm pretty sure he did.
Have Kevin Durant when he won MVP. Kevin Durant was in Golden State. He averaged that for triple-double.
So he won MVP, though, on that team. This team right here, the only other person he has is Bradley Beal. He's going to be doing his exact same team. He's going to basically run this team. As much respect as I have for Bradley Beal, I don't know if they're going to necessarily make him that number one option that he should be. Because it's Russell Westbrook, and just like James Harden, he's going to take the ball and he's going to do what he wants with it first before thinking about others. That's just Russell Westbrook.
It might change.
If he might change, he didn't change for KD. He didn't change for Paul George. He didn't change for...
Paul's a garbage man. We can talk about that later.
He didn't change for James Harden, but he's going to change for Bradley Beal, which is lesser than all those three I just named.
Yes.
He
might. I said he might.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't think that team's going to be good enough for him to win an MVP award. They're not getting in the playoffs.
I don't see them getting in the playoffs either.
So he can't get an MVP award. We're getting out MVPs, the guys who don't make the playoffs.
Actually, if you look at the East, it's a little bit harder with the East. Only because if you look past the, let's say 6 seed, it's gonna be a fight. Like at those bottom teams, I feel like you're gonna have the Bulls competing. You're gonna have, let's say, the Magic are still going to be in there a little bit. They're going to be okay. I think the Wizards are going to be fighting for that spot. And if you look at the season Russell Westbrook did win MVP.
So y'all got the Hornets fighting for those seeds.
The year that Russell Westbrook did win MVP, he was, I believe, the 6th seed. Either the 5th or 6th seed. And he still won MVP. You don't have to just...
You don't have to be the top seed.
No, you don't.
He averaged a triple-double. That was the first time we've ever seen him.
I think he can do that again this year. Because if you look at the team that he has... He's going to have more opportunity to get rebounds because you look at the players that he had then. Those players are better than the team that he has now. He's going to have more room to get rebounds. He's going to have a lot more misses to get. He's going to have a chance. The only thing I'm not sure about is assists. That's going to be the part he might struggle on. But if you look at the way he assists, it's typically he's not kicking it out to the three as much as I'm going to drive it to the basket and I'm going to pass it to Steven Adams.
Facts.
I'm going to pass it. Most of his assists come from, I can't make this layup, and let me give it to the guy right beside me. And so I really think he has the potential to do that averaging a triple-double thing. He even talked about, I want to be that player that I used to be. He goes, I want to go back to being that. And this is the perfect system for him to do that. I mean, if he does want to kick it out to the three, Bradley Beal's perfect for that.
Facts.
He's going to be getting those assists. He's going to be getting the rebounds because they don't have necessarily the best rebounders. He's going to be getting the points because he's going to get whatever shot he wants to.
I don't think the NBA sees a triple-double as special anymore.
I think it just boils down to where do they finish. That's where it boils down to. That's why I said that's going to be the crazy one because if he does make playoffs and let's say a 5th through 8th seed, I think he could get that MVP again if he wanted to.
I believe if he gets a triple-double, there's too many people like yourself that was
that's going to be LeBron and Giannis are both going to be the top two.
They're not giving it to Giannis again. They're not giving it to Giannis.
I think it's going to be hard for him to give it again.
They're giving it. Dame time. Check your watch.
That's not gonna be Dame. How much do you believe
It's
gonna
Dame time.
Hold on, let's see if we can't get 15. How much do you believe Dame's
$5. He's an MVP of the NBA this year.
$5.
MVP of the NBA.
Oh my God, this is the easiest $5
$5
ever.
Most
Oh
valuable.
my goodness.
Damian, you hear this?
We're at $15 right now.
Most valuable player in the NBA.
I'm gonna get a whole car payment out of the end of the season. This is gonna be great.
2020-2021 season, Damian Lillard.
Jamal's
He was in great shape.
Jamal's gonna have a most improved player type of season. I think he
How great? He was good.
I mean, not
this
Jokic,
past season.
Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's gonna have
He
like.
was good this past season.
He was up, but he averaged about, I think, if I remember right, like 18 points a game.
I could swear it was about 22, 23 games.
No, you're thinking about in the bubble. The bubble he popped out.
You sure
That's
for the
what I'm saying.
season? You sure?
Yes.
You sure? You might have to look at it. I think he averaged about 22, 23
No,
games.
he didn't average as much.
He didn't get less than 20 a game. For sure. For sure.
No, he definitely averaged less, and he averaged
No
15.6 points per game
This
past
season. That was
15.
that's for his career, bro.
No, that's this past season.
That's career. I told you career. 18 and a half, so you're cutting right.
That's what I'm saying. He averaged like
18 and a half.
he I think he's gonna be a candidate. That, like we were talking about the awards, that's gonna be most improved player probably right there. I think he has potential. It's either going to be him or someone like Christian Wood, who's on a team that's absolutely terrible this season. And Christian Wood was like, okay, but if you look at, he's a good player. Like I don't know how much you know about Christian Wood. He's going to be one of those players that because he's not on a team with anybody else, he's going to be looking like I don't know if I can say star, but he's going to be looking so much better because he went from being some rookie type player that's like still developing to, oh, you're gonna get this team on your back now. It's gonna be him and Derrick Rose pretty much.
I'm gonna pick a different player.
You got, I mean, I guess you got Blake Griffin too, but he's gonna be hurt like he always is every year.
Most improved, I'm going with Denver Nuggets, Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr.
He's ready
Still
to
being
scorch
third
the
option.
NBA. He's ready to score. He wasn't the third option this year. He was like the sixth option.
The sixth option?
He didn't even start, so he could have been the third option.
I still, Gordon Hayward was our fourth option coming off the bench.
Well, that's because Daniel Tice couldn't play offense.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But then you got defensive player of the year.
I think he named 4 players better than
This is the
Gordon
real-
offensively on that team.
I don't know. See, this is the defensive player of the year. You're gonna have. This is Rudy Gobert's award. It's just
No,
I mean,
no, I don't think Rudy's all that in a bad
given that he stays
cookie.
given that he stays healthy, Rudy Gobert is gonna be defensive player. That's just his award.
That's not gonna happen.
It's either gonna be him or Anthony Davis. One of those
Anthony.
two. That's respectable. I'll give you Anthony Davis. That's a
Might F around be honest again. Shoot, God dang it.
Could be honest. I don't know though. I see Rudy Gobert just going back, and he's gonna get that defensive player of the year.
You know you're gonna make the playoffs, so I don't see him winning that. I don't see him no playoffs. See him winning that award, getting that award. You know what I'm saying?
I already know what your answer is gonna be to this next one. Rookie of the year. Who do you got?
LaMelo Ball, the best. He's the future of the NBA. Superstar. I'm telling you now. LeVar was right. Y'all need to start listening to LeVar. This man LaMelo is gonna be something.
He got all 3 of his
disgusting.
sons in this year. I'll give you that. He sure did.
6'8" point guard that can pass. He's got a shot. He can pass. He can shoot. He's flashy. Ugh. Must see basketball. Who you got?
I'm just gonna go with. It's either gonna be James Wiseman or LaMelo Ball. I'm gonna have to go.
Wiseman was gonna be like the 3rd or 4th option.
I'll go with
tough for him to
no, because he's gonna do good. I think
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just
like
gonna go
third or fourth
LaMelo
option.
just because he's on a lesser team.
Exactly.
I mean, your co-player is a max paid 4th option.
He's gonna get more opportunity, basically.
He's gonna get more opportunity. I mean, and when you get more opportunity, you're gonna get. It's kind of like 2017. You had Malcolm Brogdon win over Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid sat most of the he was injured and sat most. So we talked about the teams that we have going into playoffs. Here's gonna be probably an easier question than who's gonna make playoffs, but who are the top 4? All right, we'll go top 3. Who do you think are the top 3 teams in each conference to make the finals?
the Lakers, the Blazers, and in the West. Because a lot of people want me to say the Clippers, but I just don't. Denver. I got Denver over the Clippers again, honestly. In the East, effing Brooklyn, Philly, Miami.
You got Miami.
Brooklyn, Philly, Miami.
So you have no faith in the Bucks, no faith in the Celtics.
No. To make the finals, the Bucks, I did. I don't see Giannis getting a consistent jumper. You guys,
let me go ahead and get into. Let me go ahead and get into.
Point guard belt in the playoffs.
Let me go ahead and get into my picks, and then I'm gonna go ahead and flame yours. So for the West, I've got, of course, the Lakers. He just came off the championship. Maybe even got a little better in the offseason.
They did a lot.
Second choice, I'm gonna have the Nuggets. I do like the Nuggets a lot.
Nikola.
I think they get better. The only thing is Nikola Jokic. I want him to get into better shape. No, I don't think so. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and finish this off. This is gonna be the last thing that we have. We talked about our top 3 teams. Now, out of those top 3 teams, oh wait, did I finish my top 3 teams?
I don't think you did.
Think so. So my top 3 teams coming out the West is gonna be the Lakers, of course, which I think I said that before. I'm gonna go ahead and go Nuggets. I said second. I think my third is gonna have to be. This is the hard part for the West. The West is pretty hard. I'm probably gonna have to go the Clippers. Now, while I don't see them necessarily making it to the finals, I do think they're gonna be one of those regular season teams that just plays out. They're gonna be especially considering this year, they're not gonna have the same type of. I don't think they're gonna have the same type of mindset they did last year, where they're gonna sit as much games as they possibly can.
Right.
I think this year they got a little bit more something to prove. I think
after talking all that trash.
Yeah, I think this year they're going to be really, really, really trying. Now, I don't know what order those top 3 are going to be in. I don't think Denver reaches number 1. I think both LA teams are going to be fighting for 1 and 2. Then you're going to have Nuggets third. In the East, I got Milwaukee being number 1. They're Milwaukee. They're regular season champs, right? I don't think the Nets make top 3 just because I don't think they have the chemistry just yet. You got Kevin Durant, we're not sure about. You got Kyrie already starting issues.
Most efficient scorer in the NBA.
You got a lot of things to worry about if you're a Nets fan. You just really do. I don't know how much they're going to be able to click at the end of the day. I got Boston. I think they're going to be third. Now, they have Kemba coming off an injury. He's going to be sitting. I think he's sitting until January, if I remember right. He's going to be there. But we also got Tristan Thompson, which we desperately needed a good center. Y'all still desperately need one there. That's disrespectful. So we got Tristan Thompson. We got my favorite part of this draft was getting Aaron Nesmith. He was over 50% from the 3-point line in college. Now, I know sometimes that doesn't translate necessarily to NBA, but if he can just do even 45% or 40%, that's perfect for what we need coming off the bench. We just need a shooter off the bench. That was one of our biggest struggles in last season, too. I think Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they're both young. They're only getting better. They're only getting better. Each and every season, their stats have been going up. I don't think that stops. You got Jeff Teague, who's I mean, you see what he did in the Hawks as a starter. He might get that opportunity to have a starting role. You still got Marcus Smart. Yeah, and while Jeff Teague is getting older, he's still.
What team he played for last year?
He played for the Hawks last year, I believe.
Good afford be.
Let me see. Let me go back.
Yeah. See, you know he's not that good when you gotta go look and see where he even played last year.
It's starting to get late.
You know he's not that good.
He started. Yeah. He was in Atlanta last year. He finished out. I think he started in Minnesota, finished out in Atlanta. He was coming off the bench, and I mean, whenever he was at that starter level.
The worst team in the NBA last season, but go.
The worst team in the league, but at the same time, I don't think they're the worst team in the league.
I don't think they were the worst. They just had the worst record.
But they underperformed at the end of the day. I don't necessarily know why. I mean,
no, Golden State had the worst record.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, they had injury all over the place. I think so. So then, that's hard after Milwaukee and Boston. Boston's gonna be number 3. That number 2 spot, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to the Sixers. While I don't think they're gonna perform necessarily well in the playoffs because it's like I said, the East all about matchups.
You got them above Boston.
I got them above Boston in regular season. Regular season.
I thought we were talking about top 3 teams to contenders to win the finals of each conference.
No. I was just saying top 3 teams to finish out the season.
The
regular season standings. I got top 3 regular season.
Okay, that's fine.
So I'll go ahead and
I'll still rock with my picks.
I'll go ahead and get that's who I have. And then
Milwaukee up there.
the last question we're gonna go ahead and go into is out of those teams, who's making the finals?
The Portland Trailblazers will be playing against the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA Finals. Dame versus Kyrie. Nasty matchup. KD versus whoever we got there. KD's KD. But we're going to beat them. They win his first ring this year. Dame wins his first ring this year. MVP, Finals MVP. Finals champion.
So I'm gonna give y'all a realistic one, right? So here's the Lakers. I got them going to the finals.
I don't know.
I don't think anyone got better to beat them. The only thing that could possibly beat the Lakers, the only thing that can beat the Lakers is gonna be injury. That's the only thing that's gonna beat the Lakers is injury. I mean, y'all beat them this year, right? So and then on the East is gonna be a tough matchup, but I think Boston's coming out of it. You know, given this is the hardest thing with Boston, right? Boston the past couple of years has been injury riddled pretty much all the time. It started with Isaiah's hip injury. We had Kyrie get hurt. We had Gordon Hayward get hurt. We had Kemba get hurt. It seems like
Kemba wasn't playing.
Yeah, it seems like every
the injury wasn't that serious.
It wasn't that he had to go get surgery.
His pride was hurt because he got cooked.
No,
other than that, that's about it.
That's whenever you're wrong.
Tyler put him in a pot.
The only thing is the teams that could have beat us. I don't think the Sixers are good enough to beat us again. It seems like every year we play the Sixers, it's the same thing. Everyone talks about the Sixers are this, the Sixers are that.
Y'all get an unhealthy Sixers.
And 2018 they were healthy, we beat them. But so there's I don't necessarily fear the Sixers. The Bucks are gonna be the team. The Bucks and the Nets, I'm a little scared of the Nets, but the only thing is I need to see how that, as the season goes on, I'm either going to become more or less scared of them because of what we see drama-wise. That's the thing, that you have the 2 biggest drama queens in the whole NBA on the same team. Now we got to see, I know they're best buds or whatever, you got to see how that correlates to on the court. I don't know if they're going to be able to put aside some issues. I don't know exactly what they're going to be capable of. They're both coming off injuries still. You still have Kevin Durant. You got to worry about that Achilles. You got to worry about Kyrie's legs. And I don't know. That team's going to be. It's going to be interesting to say the least. But yeah, that's probably going to be. I think. And then you also got to look at the concept of it, right? You got Lakers, 17 championships. Boston, 17 championships. He's been hearing this for the past months, ever since the Lakers won the championship.
My guy loves to live in the past, 100%. He loves it.
So if you think about the storyline going into it, it would be Celtics versus Lakers fighting for the 18th championship. That writes itself. And we know sports is all about stories.
It is Damian's time. That's a story.
Dame time. What do you? Dame time is.
Damian going to be winning the finals is a story for the Bulls.
Dame time. It's Dame's time to miss the playoffs. You're right. We'll go to Dame time there. And so that's pretty much it. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Darian, you want to go ahead and tell them where they can follow you at?
Guys, you can follow me Twitter, Neil_Darian, Instagram, Darian3. Snap, DDL3. I will put all these in the description. I will check the description out. You can see where I'm at.
You guys can also follow us. We just created a new Twitter just for this podcast. You guys can send in questions. We'll make sure to answer those next podcast. You go ahead and just ask whatever you like. It doesn't even have to be necessarily basketball related. We'll pick out the best ones, figure out which ones we want to answer. You can follow us at New Age Ballerz on Twitter. It's going to be New Age Ballerz, but with a Z at the end instead of a S, because you know we're just cool like that. Last but not least, I want to finish this off by saying congratulations to Darian. This man just got 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's a big milestone. Just knowing this guy, he's one of the greatest guys out there, most genuine, funny guys out there. Y'all make sure to go subscribe to him and his YouTube channel at Dream Team Neil. We'll catch you next time.
It was fun, guys.